Hey, hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's tutorial I'm going to show you how to create a contact us form which will allow your user to send a message to you from your application. Now I already have a React TypeScript project installed, which I used in my previous tutorial on how to design a latest project's card slider like this. I'm going to leave the link to this video in the description below. So in today's tutorial I will explain how you can design a custom form for your contact page, which will allow user to enter some information and send a message to you directly, which you will get in your email address. This doesn't have any backend attached to it. It's only mainly front-end application using React and TypeScript with MUI, Material UI component. So I'm going to start by creating another page inside this page. I already have a page there, card slider, for this one you are seeing on the screen here. So I'm going to create a new file. I'm going to call it contactus.txt, which is TypeScript. I'm going to use RAFC. Excuse me. Now I'm going to, this contact page is not going to be visible yet because it has not been added to my app.txt. So I have my card slider there, so I'm going to include my contact us page there too. So if I save this, I should have my text below there now. So I'm going to close this app.txt because we no longer need it. You can see here I have my contact us text here. Yeah, so these are the things needed for this project. So let's proceed now. And before I proceed, if you are just joining this channel for the first time, kindly give this channel a subscribe, like, and even share the video. Thank you. So I'm going to get something from the Material UI, which is the container component. So inside this container component, I'm going to give a typography, which is going to be contact us. So you should see that there. Now it depends on you if you want to leave it this side, but I'm going to leave it this way since this latest something is also on this side. You can add the same style to it. You can check the style in the previous video. So but I'm going to go straight forward to the video, to the tutorial, so that I won't waste much of our time. So I'm going to create a box, and inside this box, let me import the box because this might give us error. So inside this box there is a text field, component from Material UI, and this text field component is going to take some props that we'll be needing for this project. As you can see here, is already here. So but I want this form to have a full width. I want it to have a full width. Then I need an ID. Since I'm creating a contact us form, the first thing I'm going to be needing is the subject. I'm going to need the label too, preferably. I need the label. which is going to be the subject of the message. Now the material UI text field has what is it called, different sizes. So just to maintain the size, I need to give the size to be small. I need the size to be small. Then as you can see, this thing is too close to the top here. I can just add a style. I'm going to use my style props, and I'm going to add a margin top to be 20 px. So, and including this text field too, I'm going to add a props to it, a style props to it, which is going to be margin bottom to separate each of these field later on, because as time goes on I'll be adding more to it, so I want to give a space in between them. So this is the basic thing I need for now. Then I'm going to duplicate this for other things. I will be needing a full name. I'm going to change this to full name, and also full name. I'm going to get email, then I'm going to get the last thing, which is going to be the message. But note, in TypeScript too, in MUI too, there is a way, since our message is not going to be a short string, it's going to be a multiple lines. Then there is a provision for that, which you can include in your design. So I'm going to include a props called multi-line. Then I'm going to specify how many rows did I want to take. So I think 5 rows is okay. Then I'm going to save that. I need to specify a variant too. A variant is going to be contained. It's going to be contained. Sorry, instead of row, it's going to be rows. Sorry, my bad. So I'm thinking of the button. So the variant is going to be outlined. So as you can see here, I already have my form ready. I have my subject, my email, and my message. Now the last thing I'm going to include is going to be the button. So there is a button component from MUI as well. So I'm going to import that too, and I'm going to pass send message. Now I need to do a little retouch in my button as well. As you can see, by default it's going to be a text button, so I need to pass a variant of contained. That was the mistake I made for this message. Instead of outline, I put contained, so I was thinking of the button. Now if you look closely, let me add, I need to add a color to it as well. So I'm going to name them BG colors. Yeah, BG color. Now I did something the other time in my previous video where I use the custom material theme. So I'm going to show you here again. So we created a theme with the color of blue, so which our primary color is blue. So anytime you want to make use of this, then you need to get the theme. So how can we get that? I'm going to get const theme, is equal to use theme, and this use theme is from material UI. Now my BG color, now I'm going to set it to be theme dot palette dot primary then dot dark. So with this, now I'm going to have my form, my button to be background color to be blue, now to be blue. Yes. So the next thing I'm going to add now is I want this button to occupy the full width as well. So I'm going to set it to be full width. Now that's being done. Okay, I missed something, which is going to be the type. So I'm going to specify the type to be submit. Now once this is done, we already have our form, our subject, full name, email address, and message. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to install my Formik and Yup. So I'm going to paste that right here and install. So after successfully installed, I'm going to have const Formik is equal to use Formik, and this is going to come directly from the Formik that we just installed. So I'm still going to get an error here, so which I'm going to import. You can say add import from Formik that we just installed now. So after installing this, I need to specify a couple of things, which is going to be my initial values. I'm going to have initial values. Notes. To get rid of this error, I need to value submit and submit. So the first thing I'm going to have as my initial value later, I'm going to have the subject, I'm going to have email, I'm going to have full name, then I'm going to have message. Now specifying this, it means I'm declaring a constant, or I'm initializing my variable subject, email, full name, and message. Now the next thing I'm going to do now is this box is in charge of wrapping all my inputs, including my button. So I need to do something. I'm going to add a form to it, so which is going to be form, then I'm going to pass on submit. What is it going to do? I'm going to trigger the Formik dot undo submit. So inside there, I'm going to pass no validate, then I'm going to close my form. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this complete component inside my form now, so which means I'm wrapping everything with my form. Yes, exactly. So if I click on this button now, it should do something, but before it's going to do something, let me do something first. Let me just pass, instead of console log, because I don't want it to be out of sight. I don't want to make this browser too big than this. So let me just pass a message working once I click on that button. So I'm going to click on the button now, and let's see if it is working. Yeah, so which means the button, the form, and everything is working now. Or better still, let me just do something. Let me just do value dot subject. So what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to pass a subject here, upgrade removal of unwanted services. So once I click this, I'm getting undefined. Oh yes, that should be undefined because I'm missing something. So I'm going to add that, but at least once I click on the button, I'm getting this message. I'm going to fix that now. So I'm going to do something now, that is, once I click on this, it means the value from my form is not being get by Formik. So how am I going to do that? There are a lot of ways to do that. You can add your value to your form and just pass Formik dot the ID that you use for this field. So for this one now, I'm using subject now, so it's going to be dot subject. Then on the other hand, you have your onChange event, onChange, which is going to take a Formik dot undo change. You can do it this way, or better still, you can just have it to be Formik dot get feed props. Then which feed am I getting? I'm going to get the subject. So instead of passing these two, you can only just make use of this single something. So I'm going to clear that too and leave this. So which means anything I pass now, if I try the method I use now and I click here, I should be able to get the removal of unwanted services, which was passed into my form here. So now I'm done with the first part of the form. The only thing left is just to make sure I validate the form. That is, if this form is empty and I click on this button, then the YOP should be in charge to validate the form and check if all fields are filled. So what I'm going to do now is, since I've installed the YOP, I'm going to copy and paste because I don't want to take much of the time. So I already have it set. I have my subject, my first name, my email, then my message. I'm going to check if it is string, is it required, is email address, everything is required. So after this initial value here, then I'm going to pass a validation schema. Then I'm going to pass the constant that I created here, which is going to be validation schema. So I'm going to have it like that. So now if I click on this form and any of these is empty, I supposed to get an error message. But the reason why I'm not getting an error message is that it's not specified here yet. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make a copy of what I need there, which I'm going to explain. So I'm going to copy this. Now what this thing means is it's going to show an error message for the subject if the requirement is not met for this validation. That is what this part is actually saying. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make a copy of this and I'm going to paste it here. Now I'm going to change it from subject. I'm going to change it to full name. Same thing with email. I'm going to change it from subject again, since I'm making copy. Then I'm going to change it to email address, email. Same thing for this. It's going to be message. Now if I click on even as you can see on my hand here, is already showing that. Now I want to do something. let me add a margin bottom to this part so that I will be able to see it from below very well. Yeah, so now you can see if I refresh my page and I click on this form without filling anything, then it's going to say subject is required, everything is required, just like that. Now after setting this, now we are almost halfway done. Yes, so I need to add something to this part, because once I click on this form, I want to show a loading effect. That is, once I click on it, I want it to show a loading effect. So but before that, I'm going to install another thing, which is going to be I missed that earlier. I'm going to do npm install email.js com. I'm going to run this in my terminal now. Yes, so as I'm doing that, since I already have my lab installed, I'm going to create a state now, which is going to handle my loading state. So I'm going to have my const is loading, then set is loading. I'm going to use state, which I'm going to set it to false. I'm going to set it to false. Now I haven't installed this, which I'm going to do now. I'm installing that. So once I have this done, then I can categorically come down here. Now once that's been set, I'll set my state to be false. Then I'm going to come to this button here. I want it to load. Once I click on it though, I'm going to set my I'm going to check if it's loading. Oops. If it is loading, I want to pass this inside it, and S, I want it to be this button. So this is just like a conditional statement. That is, if it is loading, if my loading is true, then it should pass this. I'm going to fix this because I need to import my loading button from MUI lab. So once I have that in place, then everything is gone. All errors are gone now. So the next thing I'm going to do now is, once I trigger on this function, the first thing I want to do is I want to set my is loading to true. Once I click on it, now once it shows the alert, after showing the alerts, then I want to set it to false. So after setting that, and I have everything in place now, the next thing I'm going to do now is once I click on this button now, and I have, let's assume I have everything set in place. Let me just say Liberty Tech. Then I'm going to pass email address. Then let me just do something here. Then once I click on this, I'm going to get that. But if you notice very well, you can see, okay, the action is very fast, that it could not even show the loading effect yet, but it's going to do that. So what I'm going to do next now is that, since I've installed my image.js, then I need to do something. Now what you need to do now is you visit the official website of image.js. Now this is the library that we will use to send email address from our form to your preferred email address that you specify. So this is the landing page. You create an account by entering your name, your email address, the password, and prove you are not a robot. Then after that, you log in, you verify your email address, and you log in. Once you log in, the first thing you must do on this page is to create email service. So once you click on add email service, there are a lot of services that you can use, Google and others like that. So if it is Google, you pick anyone, you click on it, then it's going to tell you to link an account, as you can see. So which means you must link the account service that you pick. So if it is Yahoo, you must link your Yahoo account. Then after linking it and you click on create service, then it will come, the service you created will be displayed here. Now after doing this, the next thing you should do is to note the service ID that is provided. Now the next thing you need to do now is to come to your email template. You come to your email template, then you click on new, create new template. You can create a new template. Now note something. Hello, if somebody is sending message to your project, so it means your project name must be specified here. Now from name, that is here, let me start from the top part here. From the name here, which means the sender name. Now if you check the attribute that we specify here is full name, so which means this part is not going to be from name, it's going to be full name, just like this. Same thing to hello name, you can edit that. Instead of hello name, you can specify your project there. Let me cancel this and just maximize it. Instead of name, you will just specify Liberty, hello Liberty Tech. The notes, don't forget, this is going to be full name, and if you wish to remove this you can, but I don't think it's necessary since you will be the only one to see it. As you can see, hello Liberty, you got a new message from the full name that we are sending. Then reply to, that is the person email address, email, you remember that. So the email, then after setting the default something, you click on save. Now once you save this template, also you will need to note the template ID that you just create. You can see this template ID. Now after setting this, the next thing you need to do is go to your account, then you see this public key here, you note that one too. Now the next thing you need to do after setting the account now is to start incorporating all these details into your form. Now I'm going to remove this alert because it's no longer needed here. Now the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to create a template which is going to take some parameters. The first thing is going to be the subject, which is going to be my value dot subject, as you can see, separated with comma. I'm going to have the full name, I'm going to have the email, and lastly I'm going to have the message. So after this, since I've installed my image.js, the next thing I need to do is to import the image.js which I've already installed. So I'm going to import that right here. So after this, then I need to trigger my image.js, and inside this send function, I'm going to pass some parameters there. The first thing I'm going to pass now is the service ID that we get. Now note something. I'm going to go to my service, then I'm going to copy the service ID that was created earlier. Then you copy that, you bring it over here and paste. Then the next thing I'm going to be needing now, I will need the template ID too that was created. Instead of just copying it directly from here, you can just come over here, go to your settings, and just get it from there. Yes. So I'm going to replace it with this. Now the third thing that I'm going to need is the template file that we created here, which is this one. I'm going to paste that in, and the last thing is going to be your public key. I'm going to paste that as a string. Now once you save that, you have your structure to be like this. This tool is quoted. These three, only the template that we created will be like that. Now the next thing is, once this thing send, I want to pass a then I need to get my response. Now after this part, I'm going to catch, and also I'm going to catch my error. Let me just make a copy of that. Now inside my response, I need to do something. That is, if the response status is equal to 200, that is, it is okay. If it is okay, then I want to reset the form and also set my is loading back to false. But before I do these two things, I need to display my my message, that is to tell the user that you've successfully sent a message. Now this reset form is giving error because we need to pass it over here. So I think the error should be gone. Yes. Now what I'm going to use to display the message now is something that is called the snack bar from the MUI component. So like I said, I don't want to make this tutorial too long, so I'm going to copy those things now and just bring them over. Now what you see there, I have a snack bar which is going to open on open. So I'm going to specify the open here. Initially it's going to be false. Now I'm going to be needing the open and the close function that will trigger the closing and the opening now, which I'm going to copy and paste as well. So what this thing is all about, let me just explain. This snack bar is going to take open, which I've specified up. It's going to take duration of 4 seconds for it to stay. When I click on close, it's going to trigger this on close. Then the anchor origin means I want it to be vertically top and horizontally right. That is, I want it at the top right corner of my screen. Then this alert is going to be in charge of the message that I'm going to pass inside it. The message type is going to be a success. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to import this from MUI, but instead I'm going to import all missing components, which means this message and error will be gone. So the breakdown of what we've done so far is we create a validation which is going to ensure all our fields are entered correctly. Then we set a state which is going to be a loading state to check the loading state, and the initial value is false. So then we have our initial values for our Formik, which are subject, email, full name, and a message. Then we create our message template, our mail template, so then our email.js is going to take our service ID, our template ID, then our mail format or mail template we created here. Then it's going to take our profile public ID. So the response coming back from this is going to have a status. So we are checking if the status is 200, which is okay. Then it's going to perform all this, that is to open our snack bar, which is going to display our success message. Then the next thing is to clean the form, to reset the form, then to set the loading state back to false, since we've already set it to true here. So in short, I'm going to try that. If I click here now, since everything is empty, it's going to display everything required, as you can see in our validation schema here. So what I'm going to do now is, let me expand my screen. So the subject, I'm going to have it to be contact us from somebody. Then my full name is somebody on somebody YouTube, or let me use something like Liberty Tech. Then I'm going to use email to be libertytofficial@gmail.com. and I'm going to say, oh wow, I really love your YouTube videos. Thanks. Now once I hit on submit, now what will happen is that I'm going to get this mail will be sent to my email address that was attached to my email.js account. As you can see now, message sent successfully. So if I should go to my mail now and check, you can see here, hello, I'm contacting you concerning the other line. Oh no, that was the first one I used to test the other time. Yeah, this is the one. So as you can see now, wow, I really love your YouTube videos, thanks. So that is how to go about it. There is no backend attached to this, just only your front end React, and that's all. So I believe you learn one or two things from this video. Kindly subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up, give it a like, just to motivate me to do something like this in future. And once you subscribe to my channel, kindly click on the notification bell to receive notification on each video I drop. Thank you.